Big old serious yard hen. She's decorated, you know. Me and my wife been watching her for years. She's one of the early iterations of taking some mongrels and breeding them to the brown red once or twice. I just left them on the yard and unmarked, just running. And these ones from the Cherry Valley stuff would come jet black, some of them. And they had the gypsy face in common. And after a while, they had the ability to kind of like, I guess, somehow go dark gray. But anyway, she is a good mother, and she hatched some broodfowl. And these are from the dark pair, I'm calling them. McWilliams muff. And so finally I can, you know, be assured, okay, I'm finally doing it justice and single mating the, well, a number of them. I'm single mating a number of those muff, and it's confusing, but I've explained to people. This will just be the brown red side, okay? I'm just concentrating and seeing what goes on. And the reason why is because I think that brown red, like what I'm calling like a dark McWilliams muff cock, 2 years ago, he very well could be the only McWilliams hen from his old stuff, and she was dark, like black, like a dark, like brown red type. What I'm saying is, that could be her son. I had a trio, so. Anyway, so I single mated them, so very well that could be her son being line bred to her, but this will give me a good indication of the old McWilliams muff, the stuff that he had for the longest time that he admires and appreciates the most, his personal strain, you know. But I think they're beautiful, and they're big old, strong, good-looking chicks, so I'm excited. And I got another one. I hope they're hatching right now. Another little clutch elsewhere. And so my thinking, and this is one of the values of yard hens that understand how to not get killed. I have a little bit, you know, some of them here with this hen, and then I have another hen, and they know the yard. I'll just turn them free. And so my odds of raising some really good quality, you know, what I'm calling McWilliams muff, the dark pair from a single mating, has just increased. And I did this the first year, you know, last year, and anyway. And I only need one good pullet or one good stag, in my opinion. And I mean, sometimes that's how it is. You know, and that is, it's interesting. He's like, don't overthink it. You know, and again, a testament to the old, the Pennsylvania German that he and I both share in common too. It's like, yeah, you breed the best to the best. It's like common sense, and people say don't do that, but it is a, you know, close to the soil kind of thing from like medieval and, you know, forever, since the Neolithic. You know, I mean, the Comanche had their own style of horses. You know, the Spaniards weren't there to show them how to breed them. You know what I mean? People can say what they want about that. And then the Nez Perce, they're an example of like people that just didn't made me know, and people don't give enough credit. It's like, well, if they're taking the best thing ever they ever had, and it's a male, and they're taking the best thing ever that they ever had, and it's a female, and they keep doing that, it's like, hey, there's a basic trial and error and an observation. That's how domestication happens, through selection in the first place. But anyway, it's refreshing to hear an old timer just look at me and be like, you're all right. Just don't overthink it. You might not even like them. And so it's funny, I'm talking to them because I was curious, like, what's the deal with everybody wanting these muff fowl? Like, I'm approaching it from a place of like historical literature, like American, really American literature, and I'm trying to understand and everything. And recently here, I've just noticed, and that sounds, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, it just seems like all of a sudden it was like interesting to see or learn a bunch of people were newly trying to get after, and I have my reasons and ideas on why these muff. And recently, the last time I spoke to Mr. McWilliams, we were talking about it, he's like, I don't think people know what they want. And he kind of said it like that. He's like, I mean, I don't think they really know why or what they want with them, or what, you know, why they want them or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. And then What else did he say another way? Because there's multiple conversations I recall and I reflect, but the recent one, he said something interesting that was different. He said, they just live forever. That's what he said. That's how he was describing the old muff fowl that my old muff fowl, my old muff chickens. They're the only ones I really fool with. The old muff fowl. And I asked him about the history, and yeah, he started with some Kazura muff. And I think there was like 3 cocks he had. And then the hen side, as far as I understand it, it was North Britain and Hulsey. And that last conversation, it's fascinating. But, preference matters, and there's some historical and ancestral significance to this. Again, like his father knew these guys that knew, they can trace everything back to like Dad Gleason in New York and stuff like that, or some old timers in New York, and then those white hackled of North Britain come down through Appalachia in the coal region. And Mr. McWilliams was telling me a lot of these black fowl, the best thing, the Irish hillbilly fowl, like, there's people that are coming out Appalachia and they had something that's perpetuated and kept on and known to be like Irish blacks or Irish brown reds, and probably some blues and some gingers and all too. But he said the best chickens he ever saw were coming from the coal region. And in his mind, for him, he was thinking more like, I think, southern coal region. Like Tennessee and like into Kentucky, not necessarily Pennsylvania, because that would have been north of him. And that's a whole other thing. But them old North Britain and White Hackles, they were coming from, Pennsylvania. They're established there pretty good in New York. And anyway, so he built his family off them, and he said to me, he's like, I don't think you can get more beautiful. There's not a more beautiful gamecock than a pumpkin gamecock. But, it's interesting listening to him. He just thinks that pumpkins are just the most beautiful thing ever. Anyway, I think he's breeding some nice red quill like type fowl. I'll say that. I mean, he's been breeding them on for a long time. He said he got some spangles and some brass backs from them blue-legged red quill chickens for the first time. And I think that was after, I want to say, at least 10 years, maybe more. I'd have to ask him. And interesting. I see. You think that's the old North Britain blood? He's like, absolutely. So I get what some of these old timers mean. Like, you take something like that and you breed it to other stuff. It's crossed up. It's mongrel. I get that. Different ways to view the subject. Anyway, there's more on that, Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong. Yeah, never mind. There's a lot to think on. And she's missing an eye there. That used to that eye, that left eye here, but it didn't seem to bother her. That's the downside of hens with spurs. They use them.